I'm going to welcome to the stage now Raghav, our speaker for today's luncheon. So Raghav, apart from working from his family business in textiles, also volunteers for Global Shapers, which is a World Economic Forum initiative. So he's curator for the Bangkok chapter, and he's going to speak today about empowering youth and youth volunteerism and activism in Thailand. So thank you so much, Raghav, for coming and welcoming to the stage.
Hello? Hi everyone. Can anyone hear me? Okay. Hi. My name is Raghav. Mettakhun. So I'm the curator of Bangkok, Global Shapers Bangkok Hub. So as part of my, thank you Jerry for the introduction. As part of my full-time job working with my family business in textiles, my background was in environmental science. So I graduated a few years ago from Nottingham University in the UK. And then I realized after working in corporate for 3 years, it's calling time for my family to work with family business. But then during working with my family, my objective wasn't satisfied, that I didn't get a chance to meet like-minded people who understand the problems of the world and the situation of the environment. That's my area of speciality. So I approached Global Shapers if I would want to be a part of it. Then they accepted me. So it's been a good roller coaster ride for the past 2 years, making sure volunteers are active and bind it together. So before that, I go into details of what deep down in what Global Shapers are. So I will just introduce myself and then, which I've already done, and then I'll show you the video of who are we as a Global Shaper. I went to Geneva last 2 weeks ago for Global Shapers Summit. So that is where all the branches of Global Shapers around the world, we have 370 branches in hubs, actually cities around the world. We gather together in Geneva, and then we build team building, and we do goals and visions, and how can we inspire members back home and motivate them to make a change in terms of create meaningful projects to improve the state of the world, especially their communities in their cities. So I'll just cover the introduction, who are we as a Bangkok Hub, and the regional conference we are going to do next month, which is Shape Asia Pacific 2018, under the theme of sustainability. So I'll lead you guys into a short video of who we are, and then I'll get into more details. I'll just show you for about 2-3 minutes. This is quite long.
It's a global community of youth between the ages of 20 and 30 who feel involved in the cities that they live in and care about the cities that they live in and want to have a positive impact.
Our goal is to be able to try and accelerate some of the great initiatives that are being discussed and hopefully implemented through the WEF organization. I think we're the voice of the young.
Such an illustrious crowd of dynamic people, and it's great because when we sit on the same platform, we have so much to share with each other.
It's just an incredibly diverse, innovative, extraordinary group of people who are working really hard in their personal lives to make a change around a particular cause, and it brings them together.
Global Shapers primarily meet in their local hubs, but then they also are connected through a global platform to interact and exchange with other global shapers around the world.
I think what's been really interesting about the way WEF has done it is by creating a hub-based model. We live in, I guess you could call it a borderless world at this point. I mean, globalization has made it so that people are just so connected all over the world. So you could have somebody in Washington, D.C. hub who's doing something, a project, or collaborate with somebody who's in the hub in the Middle East, and might directly tie into what they're doing. So I think that's really powerful about it, is that you just have this ability to interact and transact with somebody halfway across the world and connect right away.
We really want to address some of the world's problems, and we might not have all the resources out there or all the experience, but I know that we have the energy.
recent events have shown the power of young people. Through technology, through information, through their mobilization, young people have brought change around the world to places where we never even thought change was possible. And we saw this as a wonderful opportunity to bring young people into the World Economic Forum and have them sit at the table with leaders in dialogue to shape the future of this world in a way that really reflects the needs of the current generation.
We have integrated into the World Economic Forum political leaders, business leaders, civil society leaders. But what is missing in this multi-stakeholder approach are the young people. And they represent over half of the global population. If we look at people below 30 years old, what we are doing here is not something which is new or innovative. What we are doing here is something very compulsory.
I think one of the benefits of getting a naive group of young people together is we're not really willing to wait. We feel like we can have an impact now.
I have this really firm belief that one of the most powerful elements of being young is that you don't know what's impossible yet. And I think through something like Shapers, we can prove that certain things that everyone knows is impossible, we can make possible.
The World Economic Forum itself is a private, not-for-profit foundation that has no partisan ties, no political ties, and we really seek to be a neutral partner and a neutral platform for dialogue.
A global organization that's based on membership and as representative of heads of state, large private sector companies, and large organizations that have an opportunity to meet, which used to be in Davos only, but to be able to discuss global problems and how to address them and promote this sort of coordination on a global level.
The most amazing thing about the World Economic Forum is the sheer scale of leaders that make time every single year to turn up and to debate.
World Economic.
Okay. So, just in a nutshell there. So what's the Global Shapers community? I'm sure you have seen briefly on the video. It's founded by Professor Klaus Schwab. Klaus Schwab is also a founder of World Economic Forum. He's a chairman. So he sees that young people are underrepresented in the global agenda. So you see, it's founded actually in 2011 when Arab Spring happened. I'm sure you remember Arab Spring, right? When the governments in Bahrain, in Libya, in Tunisia were challenged, and young people will march on the street. And then the World Economic Forum realized that young people under 30 are underrepresented in global decision-making agenda. And then he realized that let's make a youth group around the world to influence the governments and the society on how we could run the world. So that's how Global Shapers are formed. So it's a non-profit organization based in Switzerland, and there's 370 hubs around the world. So now there's 7,000 members today, and counting. We're recruiting new members every day. And in Asia Pacific, there's about 200 people. So there are all the capital cities of our neighboring countries, there's a hub. In Thailand, there's two. Global Shapers Bangkok and Global Shapers Mettakhun. Actually, the Global Shapers Bangkok was founded by Nick Pisalevut. He's a director of SEC, Sasin, Sustainability and Entrepreneurship Center. Is that correct? Yeah? Okay. Because they changed the name recently. Okay. So who are we? The Bangkok Hub is mainly a community of young people who like to share spirit of entrepreneurship. We like to stand on our own feet in a global public interest. So actually we stand for the power of youth in action, which is the theme of the presentation today. Bangkok Hub was also launched in 2011. The original members were Kunik and Kundu. He's currently the CEO of Mettakhun Foundation, who's also our main sponsor of our regional event, which is coming up next month, which I will explain in a bit. So our mission is to build a local community among most outstanding young people, and we emphasize on entrepreneurship and service. So it's very important for people who are in volunteering to have a service mind and a good heart. a general gesture of goodwill is very important, because if you're not honest with yourself, if you don't like serving and helping people, you can't balance between volunteer work and full-time job, never. Because when I first joined, it's a very hard time for me to manage, get my parents have a go at me every now and then that, my passion goes down to more volunteer work and not full-time job. What's happening? So, so you have to balance out as well, and everyone is also under the same shoes. So the core values of the hub are empowerment, inclusion, sustainability, collaboration, and the last one, as I said earlier, integrity. Very important. So some of past activities in Bangkok. I joined in 2016, so this was before. So what we did was we gathered young graduates or people who are still in university to get them an insight of what's it like to be in a marketer, to be in an advertisement, to be consultant. So we invite them over and we explain them what's it like from the professional, from the person who's in this industry. We done first jobbers guide, so we help them coach on CVs, interviews, because sometimes this problems we have in Thai universities that we have a guidance department, which is in Thai is called NAT now, through NAT now. The cons, what is missing from PUNAT now in general in universities in Thailand, that they never been working in corporate before, they've never been in an outside world, so as soon as they graduated, they teach an academic. So they don't know what's it like in the global job market. So the students are a bit lost when they graduated. So we give them guidance and advice. Because one of our members also owns a social enterprise on mentoring young students. It's called Career Beat. So she voluntarily came to coach everyone on how to be a successful job candidate. This one I led. It's a project that I spearheaded in 2016. As soon as I joined, I said, okay, I'm going to do this event. And there were members who were helping us, organizing a surf charity party. So this we actually got an in-kind sponsor from Flow House, which is in Sukhumvit 26. So we asked them, please, could you give a location for free? So they gave us a location for free. We talked to Bia Chang to give drinks for free as well. So we charge drinks, we charge entry fees, then we raise these funds to go and donate in Nakhon Si Thammarat, where families are affected by floods, 37 families. So we donated mattresses and cash. So this actually, we work together as a team. We have members who have connections in different fields. So we have members who are professional in doing social enterprise. As part of this business, we know several partners. So we rely on each other's connections to make things happen. I can't do it alone without them. So they all helping me. And last year we organized a workshop on low waste living. So like every day when you guys wake up, when everyone's wake up, we start using disposable waste. For example, plastic bags when you go out to buy lunches, breakfast. They give you plastic bags all the time. Coffee, disposable cups, paper we threw away in our work documents. So we give them a guidance on how to be more conscious of how you spend resources each day. So there's a soap making workshop, making from reused cooking oil. Cooking off a restaurant donated soap for us, and then we make soaps so that you don't have to buy new soaps when you need totally. Dare to dream. Like for example, we bring in professionals who used to work overseas, and then we sit down with them, invite new students who want to work abroad, and give them guidance. So basically, bringing people who they never met in their daily life together and coach them. We also have fun. We also try to have excursions, go out to see meaningful projects that other companies organize around Bangkok. We have retreat. So to get members bonded, it is compulsory. We need, actually volunteer work is strongly based on trust. So we need to trust each other. We need to have faith in each other. It's like a family. So if you don't know each other well enough, you can't execute any project. So we decided that once a year we go out together for a couple of nights and lay down our strategy and projects and get close to each other. This is part of it. So meeting up with global shapers around the world. So sometimes meeting strangers can be a bit awkward. But with Global Shapers, we have received messages all the time that Global Shapers around the world visiting Bangkok, they want to meet us. So it's like with the Global Shapers and World Economic Forum on brand, they feel that we are, it's safe to meet. It's more trusted. So you get to meet shapers from the Philippines, Switzerland, India on a regular basis. So that's something that we expand our networks about. So in a nutshell, Global Shapers initiative by World Economic Forum is a young group of people coming together to do different projects. It doesn't have to be the environment, it can be anything. Some of them want to do technology and blockchain, cryptocurrency. We can come together, get an approval from the team, and then done. We start planning out projects. We usually meet up once a month, every Sunday in an office space or something. But now because we have a regional event coming up, so we're meeting every Sunday. As part of it, we also do a design thinking workshop. We have a neighboring hub coming up to help us train on how to design thinking. This D-School by Stanford, right? She got trained by D-School and then she came to volunteer to give us some training on how to, for project management, for design thinking. This one I went 2 weeks ago in Geneva, so that was a meeting that I mentioned to you earlier. So we just get inspired by the leaders around the world. Actually, Jack Ma is also a board of members of Global Shapers, but he couldn't come to this event. I think for this news, he's planning to retire, so I'm not sure how going to be a board member any longer. So we have opportunity to join regional and global events. As I said, Geneva, we have a web on ASEAN 2018 last week. I'm sure you everyone's heard of it. It was in Hanoi. So 2 of our members got selected to represent. So it was also a place where we networked with global regional leaders as well. You see Aung San Suu Kyi there, talking about the situation in her country. And we have a regional event every year organized, which is called SHAPE, which Bangkok got to host next month. So this was in Philippines last year, and I went. It was fun. The last year theme was cultural, but what we do this year is in sustainability. So we are hosting on 18th to 22nd of October under the theme Sustainable Lifestyles. So I'll go through that with you quickly. Between now and then, any questions? Okay, I'll in a nutshell, this is the event we're organizing next month. So we generously received a sponsorship from Mae Pha Luang Foundation, Thai Beverage, who are our lead sponsors to help us with this event, because the World Economic Forum couldn't provide us the funding. They would like us to fund by ourselves. As a part of volunteer initiative, everything must be self-funded, so we started planning 9 months in advance for funding. It was a very difficult ride, but we received generous sponsors, which makes us work easier at the end. So these are objectives: connect, inspire, empower. These are Global Shapers board. So this gentleman here probably leave by the end of this year because he just retired. We have a Princess of Norway. We have Klaus Schwab as well. We have our former Global Shapers member who's also helped us decide how we navigate driving the global agenda forward. So because there's different members around the world, they're doing so many different projects. We could bring their projects and imply in our own city. For this year, actually for this conference, we try to reflect SDG goals as much as possible. So we divided sustainable cities, food security, and blockchain. So these are the mega trends for this year as well that people like to hear and focus. So we are taking them through the journey of sustainability. It doesn't have to be, you can't communicate sustainability if you're purely a tree hugger. You need to know that business want to hear that if they want to do sustainability, it must be profitable. So we are taking to the tracks of sustainable. We actually allow participants. Actually, we have 150 participants coming next month. So we ask them to choose the tracks, and we take them on a deep diving journey. So first one is sustainable cities. We do how city dwellers and business contribute to a responsible culture of consumption. For example, food agriculture, how do we minimize food waste? And how do food agriculture combines to bring local economies and make society sustainable livelihoods? And for blockchain, how do blockchain help battle against climate change? Not battle, rather let's say work with climate change. Because climate change is unavoidable. We have one of the oldest ice shelves in the world breaking last week. So we can't fight climate change. We just have to slow things down. How does blockchain technology help with that? So we divided into 4 days of conference, for example. And these are upcoming speakers we have. Mr. Klaus Schwab's not confirmed yet. I don't think he will be able to make it with his busy schedule. So we have speakers from various areas of expertise in Bangkok. They voluntarily come and help us. We wouldn't be able in a position to provide them any funding. So they kindly accepted our invitation. We have shapers flying from around the world to come and help us train as well. For example, Amanda is from Manila. She's doing blockchain processes, one of the largest blockchain company in the world. And we have Tirsa Santos from Manila as well, from World Wildlife Fund. We have Dr. Nampon also is a leading thinker in cryptocurrency. Our team. We can aiming to be a carbon neutral event. So we are working with Big Tree to compensate carbon that emitted mainly from traveling, because a lot of people flying from around regionally. We predict that it's going to contribute 83.4 tons of carbon dioxide. So we work with Big Tree to grow. We have to grow at least 50,000 trees for the next 50 years, to compensate this funding. So we're working as soon as next month. We encourage every members to grow at least 5 trees a year. So hopefully, times 50, we grow ourselves a bit more. In the next 50 years, hopefully we're working Big Trees as well. They're growing some more for us. So these are partners. Social giver, Kate Smith, we say go. Confirmed sponsors, we have, I would like to correct this, World Economic Forum is not our sponsor, but it is funded through Climate Reality Project, which is an initiative by Al Gore, former US Vice President. So they work with the World Economic Forum to provide us some support in terms of climate change training in this conference. So we have Mae Fah Lung Foundation, Thai Beverage, Tesco, SPCG, TSEC as well, 6 members. So back to that. I'm sorry it takes too long, will be long now, before you have any questions. So you might be wondering, if you're a shaper, what does it take to be a shaper? You must be under 30 to become a shaper. That's the rule by Global Shapers Committee of World Economic Forum. So sorry to disappoint some of you. So assumably, I was by some of you. So because they wanted young people because the millennials are sometimes hot-handed, hot-minded, hot-tempered, so they want to do things fast. And then they want a platform for young people, so they limit the age limit to 30. But they can stay to 33, so 8 years or 33, whichever comes first. They must be living in Bangkok for the Bangkok Hub. Minimum 2 years of commitment. So you have to consider as a principle that you have to also manage this as your second full-time job. It's not just a sideline, not a hobby. If someone thinks that Global Shapers is a hobby, then it's not suitable for us. So it's not something that they do whenever they're free. It's something they have to integrate in their daily life. We have line group. We see 250 conversations every day talking about agendas and projects that we're planning to do. So team spirit, open-minded, commitment, but also have fun at the same time. So these are current shapers. So we have a different, from wide variety of fields. One of them works in geo. The guy, gentleman, Anas, works in ILO. The second guy works in social giver, social enterprise. Next to we have our guy who runs a hotel in Sukhumvit. We have a person who's independent marketing consultant. We have a person who runs a kind of a social innovation enterprise. And we have a person who works in e-commerce. So it's all came together, just a few of us. You can find out more about us, globalshipersbangkok.org, and our Facebook page. Thank you very much. Now it's Q&A, so if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
So thank you so much, Raghav, for that really informative presentation about Global Shapers Bangkok. If you have any questions, please, I'll pass around the mic so that we can pick it up in the recording. And do we have any first questions for Raghav? Okay.
So, first, why did you join this organization? And second is, what's your, going forward, what's your main objective, for Global Shapers in Thailand?
So the reason I joined, because, like I said earlier in the presentation, I want to meet like-minded people who resonate my objectives. So my objective is to make people aware, this is my personal objective, to make people aware of resource consumption in daily life. My background is in environment, so I want people to understand where I'm coming from. And I want to learn also from other people what's their objectives, their personal life goals in terms of how they want to contribute to the society. Because World Economic Forum's objective, the motto is improving the state of the world, but we can't improve the state of the world without improving the state of our city, where we live, where we born. So basically, we listen to other, it's like collaboration of ideas. That's how I joined Global Shapers. Because in my workplace, usually now, because in textiles, it's usually there's less and less people in my generation working on it. So usually our parents' generation, which sometimes their priorities are different. Rather than improving the society, they're probably more of a donation or contribution in terms of communities go and donate money, and donation sometimes not always a sustainable solution to solving city problems and local problems. You have to do it yourself. Well, we might be, personally in our generation, we might not have the means to donate every now and then, but we have energy and time to do something. So that's why. And second, objectives of Global Shapers Bangkok after this conference in October is that we want to also advocate on different ideas. Because, for example, one of our members has suffered mental issues, and suffered depression, and he wants to be a speaker. Actually, he's Thai Indian like me, but he felt that there's a stigma in the community that is looked frowned upon when you have a mental health problems. So he wants to be a loudspeaker for people in the community and beyond, how to raise this issue, and also for the environment from my side. And we also have a blockchain and smart energy. So we have different goals that we're planning to work on from the beginning next year. Thank you for your question. That's a very good question.
Thanks.
First of all, thank you for the very informative presentation. You may have already discussed this, I haven't missed it, but what are some of the themes and objectives for that Shape APAC for the October here?
The Shape APAC, we try to bring in the participants who are interested in making their lifestyle more sustainable and the tools they could use with it. For example, how they implement in their daily life. For example, in food, agriculture, we waste food every day, and how this very I'm going to give you a very simple solution here. For example, food waste. How they could make a compost at home. They're living in condominiums and flats and houses, what have you, and how can do their own compost. How do restaurant owners source local materials, local food, rather than importing? How do a local, we have a Akha Ama, a well-known coffee grower in Chiang Mai, coming in and how to inspire, will help explain how do they help the farmers growing coffee where normally was an open field. So we bring in how food, how in terms of sustainable cities, how can, as a city dweller, how can we help improving the cities, because there's a kind of high inequality gap in society. I live in a bubble myself. So I grew up, I went to Thai and international schools, I went to university abroad, so, and have a certain group of friends. So we live in a bubble, and how can a person who live in a bubble understand people who's around us? For example, I would probably never sit down and have lunch with a lady who sells bing or grilled pork on the street. So this conference, we take it into a trip of these communities and understand them better. We go and talk to them, and we also come back and get a role play. So we have a gamification, board games, and understanding if you are a bing lady, and if you are a governor of Bangkok, and if you are a motorcycle driver, how can we help each other solving climate change problems? I hope that...
It reminded me of the 3 topics that you put on the slide. I realize now that those the blockchain, the sustainable cities, and food and agriculture, were those the 3 things?
Yes, correct.
Oh, got it. Now you gave more detail on the food. Okay,
we try to reflect that to SDGs as well, but sometimes we're going to bring a speaker, because SDGs is very foreign concept for people who are not in sustainability field. It's very westernized term from the UN, but people sometimes don't get it. And what's SDG? What's the 17 goals? My friends who are not in this field, they would have no idea. So we want to bring in and how to be communicate to those people that how these can be localized goals that we can make, an individual can make day by day. In terms of blockchain and smart energy, how does technology that we can use on applications and cryptocurrency can help reducing our consumption, electricity and fossil fuels in the EU. Thank you very much for your helpful. Thank you.
Any further questions?
Sorry that I came in late and I missed most of it. I just glanced at some portion of your slide. And so you mentioned that you are Thai Indian, right?
Yes, I was born in Thailand.
So were you in India? Would you have any experience in India? Okay. The reason I was looking at it, you bring out issue of the environment and helping others. In India, what they do was they had a lot of wedding ceremony in the whole India, and then they wasted all the food at the end of it. And people, they have a non-profit organization, they gather and collect those food and then distribute to the poor society, and that's some kind of sustainable event also. And also you mentioned about the sustainable environment. In China, they have a greenhouse, all the building, the vertical greenhouse. And this also, I think we can have some kind of opportunity in Thailand.
Because I'm born and bred in Thailand, so I never lived in India, but I think yes, we do have big lavish weddings. So I think that was a very good initiative from Indian side as well. Actually, there's 20 hubs in India, about 15 hubs in India, and they're very vocal and active in the Global Shaper Summit in Geneva. We are ASEAN and Asia Pacific are more timid and reserved. We are more quiet ones.
Are we going to do in Asia, ASEAN country, like people, the fruit that on all these supermarkets that wasted the fruit, and are we going to distribute it to our poor people?
I think that can something that we can look at, because we have every country in ASEAN are represented in Global Shapers. We have every branch. We have Yangon, we have Singapore, we have Luncheon. So we can collaborate on projects like that.
But we are doing it in UK and French and America as well?
Yes. So we actually almost every country in the world, Global Shapers is represented. So there's 370 branches. So most Global Shapers are represented, and we can do any project we want. Just that my team has to approve.
Would it be possible if I get your slide later? Or is that like a comparison?
It's for this slide I can share with you, but the other slide is I can't. The event slide I cannot.
Just the one that I can educate myself.
Okay, sure. I'll be happy to share that with you later. Yes. Yeah, I think I'll get your email on the registration desk, and then I'll just.
Thank you very much.
So one quick question I have. Sasin being an intermediary as well, and I think for any nonprofits or any groups that are intermediaries, and you have different interest groups within your hubs, how do you select what projects to work on, and then how do you actually measure the impact towards the goal?
So we plan in the beginning that which project we should do. We could do because I think we have progressed. We came far from launching one project a year. We became now 2 to 3 projects a year, becoming this shape, and going to be 4 in the past 2 years. So we have came progressively climbing up the mountain. We when we plan projects, we look at the impact and time. Impact, is it quick win, or is it a long-term project that takes time? That's sometimes low impact we can do, but also we'll see that we have to also see the members. We also catch our members' pulses and how they feel doing it, because they have to be comfortable in doing it. We have to get their trust. So to measure the impact, we'll make sure that we have an agreement in advance of what's the size of the impact and how are we going to accept the people. Because we only have 10 people as well, our resources are quite limited. We're still keeping to grow. So hopefully in the future we can make a larger impact rather than closed fundraising events. Not closed, I mean small fundraising events and organize small workshops. So we hope that we can get our voice across better from now. With the shape coming out and more clear.
Right. I think we have time for maybe 1 or maybe 2 last questions, if anyone has questions. Yes.
What are some of your projects?
Sure.
Give us examples.
So our projects, for example, we did last year, the most prominent one was charity surf. So we hired the Flow House. Flow House is a place where we go surfing. So they give us the location for free. So we did that. People came in for surf. They buy drinks from from us. The in-kind sponsor gave us the drinks. So we raised these from ticket entry fees, drinks fees, activities fees together. We raised about 50,000 baht. So then.
So who are you inviting? Just anyone?
Just anyone. We invited anyone to join. This was in 2016. So we invite anyone. Usually Flow House, the demographics are probably like young youth that wants to play surfing and come and have drinks and play music. So we in the beginning we try to catch these people, because these people like to spend on experiences. The new millennials. So that's why we did, and then we raised the money. We flew down to, not good for carbon emissions, we didn't have enough time. So we flew down to the Sasin province where the village was flooded. And we got a kind sponsor from a mattress company that helped us donate all the mattresses to these families because they lost all their homes. And by the time the government built new houses, it takes 2 months. So we give them mattresses and cash, because I know cash is always a good thing, but it's that different people have different requirements on how they want to spend money, so we do them that. So we fly down, give them family back.
So maybe one last question from.
You mentioned that most of the projects that you do come from the interest of your team, and then you talked a little bit about looking at the impact. Is there a formal evaluation process, or maybe even a standard process that's used throughout all of the hubs around the world, or is it each team kind of comes up with their own evaluation methods?
I think it's more of the latter, because the global organization, the Global Shapers headquarters in Geneva, just help with rules and guidelines, but the rest we have to operate independently. So they don't give you impact forms or sort of thing. They let us actually do everything ourselves. So we would love to have something formalized within our hub, like how do we, impact evaluation process. But so far what we have done has been quite informal. But we're looking to formalize things in the future.
So thank you so much
I think
again.
Putida has a question.
Oh, yeah. One last question.
One last question.
planning to work in partnership with someone on like bigger scale project, or even collaborate with other countries? Huh?
Yes, we're looking to collaborate with private sector, public sector, and we're looking to collaborate with the other hubs as well, because we can also, for other hubs, we can actually take their best case example of how they done and implement in our cities. For example, there was a successful tree growing project called Tree Man, which is started in Bangladesh and India. So far they've grown over 1.5 million trees in Bangladesh and India together in their hubs. So we could implement this in Bangkok as well. But it's this is more of a quick win, more of a simplified project. But they also have how they educate young women in terms of education, sex health as well. So we can bring their methodology and we could implement it in our city. There's nothing in the pipeline yet, yes. Because for the past 9 months, we're focusing on organizing regional event. It's taking up most of the time, but when we more of a calm things down, and we want to start, I think within November, we are looking to plan our new projects for 2019. So that's where collaboration comes in.
So thank you again so much for presenting today. On behalf of Sasin, we have a small token of appreciation for you. You could take a quick picture. So thank you. Another big round of applause for Raghav, and thank you so much for coming. So before everyone leaves, we do have evaluation forms for you on the table, if you could help fill out. We also had an interesting question, thank you so much, about food waste. So that actually ties in well to an event we have next week on Tuesday. So we have a limited seating of about 200 people, and we have about 30 seats left, so please do register. I can circulate the Eventbrite link after this. We have a panel discussion and a food waste challenge issued by Tesco and the UN Environment for the Bangkok Marriott Marquis Hotel with Chef Daniel Butcher. A film screening of Anthony Bourdain's Wasted documentary, followed by a panel discussion from Scholars of Sustenance, which is a food redistribution charity, so very much tied into what you were saying, Tesco, UN Environment, and Winnow, which is a food waste technology platform. So please do come next Tuesday, 5 to 9 p.m. if you're able to make it. Okay, thank you very much.
Actually, Kun Salin La from Tesco
is a sponsor, yeah, I saw. So Kun Salin La is also a sponsor for the SHAPE event, which is amazing. Thank you so much.
Very lucky. Yes, thank you.